Thank you very much, Kirsi, for the great introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here. I feel a little bit an external in terms of topic, but very close to the heart of this topic as having an Italian background. Of course, this event is to me very close to my heart. Greetings from Lapland. While we approach slowly, we approach Christmas time, it's always nice to remember that up there, there is a nice place in Rovaniemi where there is no fraud, no corruption. Everything is like in paradise. It's very nice to open this very great event. So I would like to greet and welcome everybody here in the room and those online following from distance. As Kirsi said, I work at the University of Lapland, and I'm a professor of intellectual property law, and I'm also Vice Dean of Research. The topic of this event is extremely important to Finland in terms of research, but also in terms of work done outside academia, as I guess the people present in this seminar very much witness. It's a topic that is at the same time very important to my understanding in the European context, in the European Union. At the University of Lapland, thanks especially to Kirsi Maria, we are doing solid research in this context, in particular in relation to public procurement and effective monitoring of use and maybe checking of misuse of public expenditures, and especially in relation of the role and coordination between private market and public sector. So this topic is very, very important for us, and as I said, is a very important topic for Finland. So it's really nice to organize this event here in Finland. As far as I understand, this event is part of a much larger project titled Fraud Repression Through Education. And I think these are keywords that are very representative of the whole exercise that you're doing here today. So I think I understand that the idea of this seminar and the project is to compare practices inside in different European countries in relation to tackling fraud at the EU level. And perhaps the ultimate goal is to develop some common practices at the EU level. And therefore, the starting point is, of course, comparing the practices at national level in different countries. And this is done through cooperation. And as we know, the basis of cooperation are building trust, empowering stakeholders, and create, so to say, diversity, give a role to everybody to play and to give their voice. And this event is exactly what it goes at the core of building cooperation. And I do think that one of the major things to create cooperation and tackle the issue is, as the title of the project says, through education. And there is nothing more powerful than developing, raising awareness through education in order to tackle the issue. So I would like to welcome again everybody to this seminar, and especially congratulate the organizers of this wonderful event. And I wish you all the best for a wonderful discussion of today. Thank you.
First of all, I apologize. I'm not with you, but unfortunately, due to the fact that I'm town councillor, and today we're having an important session in which will be debated a budget amendment for 2025. So it's really crucial. And in few minutes, I have to leave and to go there to attend the town council meeting. Well, let me start sharing my presentation. I will focus on the development of RED 2 project. As you know, I followed the RED 2 project since the beginning, starting from the writing of the proposal, and now, of course, approaching the end of the project, we are thinking about the future, of course. Let me open the stage here, and here you can find the title of my presentation. in view of 2025 call for proposal of the EU anti-fraud program, EUAF. Well, first of all, let me start from what the very beginning, the starting point of this um, funds and EU anti-fraud program structure. As you can see, the UAF program foresees two important kind of goals. One is training conferences, staff exchange and studies, and the other one is technical assistance. I reported here only the first of the two important bunch of calls because of course Fred 2 belongs to this bunch of calls, to this topic. As you can see, there are four topics. The second is highlighted, is written in red, as you can see in the slide, the conference, workshop, and seminars, because Fred 2 intended to reply to this kind of call. As you can see, the program priority, but we are in the past when we started, there was the second year of the multi-annual financial framework, and so an important focus was dedicated to the RRF, the Recovery and Resilience Facility, as the money arm of the next generation EU. And so this was one of the priority of in which we focus with Fred project. As you can see, also in terms of budget, I want to report here because I prepare a comparison for the future. The future budget year, the present, and what we could be the future one. As you can see, the budget in 2022 was 10 millions. Of course, a small part was dedicated to this call for proposal, our topic, tier AI, which is not artificial intelligence in Italian, but the second topic of this bunch.
Vanni,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we see the first page of your presentation. So maybe there is something. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, sorry.
Well, but you can see not the presentation mode, I guess.
No. Now it's working. Okay, thank you. Yeah,
right.
Go ahead. Please proceed.
Okay, sorry for that. Okay, well, but this is just a quick recap from what we started in 2022. Let's move from the describing our system, as I love to call the Fred 2 system. We foresee 12 events, European events, conference, webinars, and study visits like the today one. The second big objective of our Fred 2 project is to create an anti-fraud observatory with a real transnational and European dimension. We understood, and this is probably trivial, that as who make the presentation before myself highlighted perfectly, what is corruption in Finland is something totally different of what is corruption in Italy, for example. And this is valid for 27 times. All the countries, the European Union countries, member state has different approach and different modalities of corruption and anti-fraud management. So this justify also the creation of an experiential collab learning. What we mean collab learning. One of the goal of the European anti-fraud program is to put together on the same table, in the same room, practitioner and the academic world. For this, in this important purpose, we want to do more. So to treat probably what is coming on from some scientific field of research made by the Academia Award in terms of, for example, statistics in management, the corruption in the anti-fraud path. And so for this, it is important to have also the AFCOS inside, because we have to know which are the modalities, how to define properly a glossary of terms, because probably we have the perception of same thing using different wording. Of course, the creation of a competence and skill and framework. This is some general overview, because of course we have to boost the collaboration between the world of academia and the experts in the sector. Experts means not only AFCOS representative, but in all the stakeholders around the circle. We can imagine who is dealing with corruption, for example, and anti-fraud, of course, but also who is has the possibility to discover source of corruption or malfunctioning in the system. In example, the Accountants Association, which is now linked to FRED2, at least in Italy. So let's move to today, the current year, 2024, EUAF war program. What we had the idea to make a sequel of FRED here in 2024, but we have still working. The project is producing sound results. We had in last July a study visit in Athens. Today in Helsinki. Once again, thank you to University of Lapland for hosting this study visit. We will have the final one in Lumen on 12th and 13th of February 2025. So the case, the logic decision is to think about the future, what I'm now introducing, in the 2025. So anyway, we are analyzing the call for proposal of 24 of the current year, because we have to keep our attention very high. So I can say that the call for proposal has been published with the overall war program of the Union Anti-Fraud Program on February the 5th, sorry. And why I'm saying that? Because it is reasonable to think about that the same will happen also for the next year. As you can see here, the budget was was higher than in the past when we started in 2022 with 25.5 million. Of course, one part is dedicated for fighting anti-fraud actions more than to finance project like FRED2. Two call for proposal, again, the same structure. Technical assistance is the biggest part, of course, and training, conference, and staff exchange studies, which is something very, very similar of what happened in 2020. I will leave this presentation because, as you can see in the last rows of this slide, you can see the call documents. The war program is available. This is an hyperlink, linked to the EUAF program, the work program here in this slide. So let's continue to analyze the structure of the two calls of this year. Again, technical assistance. As you can see, 4 topics. This is something new. Subjects are very, very huge. The background is to 360 degrees, because we are going from investigation and surveillance equipment to the detection of illicit trade. So it's very high, and this justified the biggest part of the budget to technical assistance. But also we are having the TRAI, the Union anti-fraud program training, conferences, staff exchange, and studies. And again, with the same call ID, TRA 02 conference, workshop, and seminar. Exactly the same we were focused on 2022 when we start FRED 2 project. Again, here, eligible action, I go very fast because I already mentioned that there are plenty of possibility for projects to be funded with a lot of subjects, with a lot of objectives. We can focus, of course, on the letter E, the last bullet point here in the slide. So again, specialized training, like we are doing today with our Finnish colleague, for having the Finnish view, and this is really the goal of the study visit, on how to deal, how to manage corruption, anti-fraud, etc. Eligible participant countries, of course, I'm focusing now on the training call, of course, but the technical assistance, it is absolutely the same, even is a little bit more restricted, because even here we can have also the participation first and then the member states of the European countries, including also the overseas countries and territories, the OCT, the famous OCT. So it is eligible, for example, to have a partner in Martinica, because it is a Dutch country, for example, in the Caribbean island, and this is the OCT. Of course, for the training assistance, there are no limitation for the European Union, the member states, but the limitation are for the EEA country and the EFTA country. So, because technical assistance means something that should be related to the European Union countries. Okay, this for what is important. As you can see, the strong point is research and education institutes and no profit, of course, no profit entities should be participant of this, eligible participant of this kind of project, like, of course, FRED 2 is. Duration of the project, the same, like in 2022, from 12 months up to 24 months, with the budget limit. As you can see, the technical assistance is more vast, of course. The minimum is the 100K euro. Like the 3A call has the minimum of 40K euro for having the minimum project. So something, let me say, similar to 2020. This is the set of criteria. This is a technicalities I should mention, because I think it is reasonable to think about that in the future war program. This won't be changed in any case, because for having a successful project, the project should overcome the threshold of 60 points up to 100 points, which is the maximum. Here are the criteria and the weights, the balance of the criteria. And it is important. Now I am the voice of an expert in formulating proposal, because this should be very a point in which should be focused while writing a project. Consortium composition in the war program of this year. Again, there is the issue, the big issue, open issue, mono-beneficiary versus multi-beneficiary. I cannot understand why the EUF program still proceed in having in foresees a project mono-beneficiary one. Only application by single applicant are allowed. I took this is in inverted commas from the war program, because it's a sentence that is really not helping, let me say, because here we in FRED 2, one of the major issue was to have only one partner and the Sapienza University. And this is difficult because we have to dedicate some part of the budget to foreign universities and AFCOS. And this is not allowed. We have to internally make some administrative, I cannot say, trick is a big word, but some invent in certain case for the university some administrative new part to allow the possibility to have a study visit and to fund a study visit for a foreign university. Okay, this is what we had. Let's now come really from to talk about the future, also because my time is it's limited. First of all, as you can see, bottom left, we have not the crystal ball, of course, but we can think about some possibilities. First of all, 2025 will be the 25th anniversary of Olaf. And I started with a provocation. Should we think about more money for that? I put an emoji, very strange, because again, this is a provocation. We know that the budget is predefined since the 2021. So I don't think it will be the case to think about more money. A budget, probably there will be an increasement of budget, but due to the inflation, due to the planning, the schedule year by year, arriving to 2027, when the multi-annual financial framework finished. It will be the 5th annual war program, and again, as I anticipated before, it is expected in the first day of February, up to the 10th of February maximum. The budget could be a little bit more than in the one of this year. So we can think about, it's reasonable to think about 26 million of Europe, and 1/5 dedicated, of course, so 4/5 dedicated to action to fight frauds, of course, and corruption, illegal activities. This is, of course, with the same structure, the major part of the budget. But 1/5 will be dedicated to projects like our project, like FRED 2. Engagement rules, I guess, unchanged because the war program rule are really effective. But the one of the mono beneficiary one, I put another emoji praying that we will be possible to submit proposal with more beneficiaries, and this will facilitate. Of course, I'm fully aware that for the Olaf units, for the European Commission, it means much work, because to create a contract for one beneficiary is much easier than to create a contract for funding a project for multi-beneficiary. But I was interviewed by the office, the technical office of Olaf, asking me how is FRED 2 project is going, is running, which are the issues, and which are the effective part. And of course, I highlighted in red that the one of submitting mono beneficiary partner is not effective. It is not helping the cooperation, the real cooperation between partners, European partners. The call deadline, of course, will be May again. My bet, let me bet, will be the 6th of May. We can bet a coffee, and we'll discuss in February when the new call for proposal will be issued, if I'm right or not. So in this framework, how to move, let me say that the framework we created with the foreigner university compared to Sapienza 1, with Lapland University, University of West Attica, and University of Leuven is working really effectively. We are having a lot of results. And so we can really think about a continuation with the same configuration. My idea here you can see, thinking about Fred 3, fraud repression through education 3, or Ginger, global investigation with new generation of education and research. This for dancing Fred and Ginger together, as you can see in these slides. Really, really thank you for your attention.